Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. Or rather, welcome to the beginning of a new Let's Play. Yeah, that's right. So I have a current Let's Play that I'm doing. That's Zelda: Link to the Past. Now, I've been pretty busy with life the last few months. Been dealing with some girlfriend stuff. She's in Britain. She visited for a few weeks. And it looks like it's gonna work out. So I've been really busy with that. I've been busy with work. I've been busy with trying to figure out when I can get back to playing games. And I told myself, you know what? You should get back to playing games whenever you feel like it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So now I did start a Let's Play of this game in the past. Go ahead and get past the title screen here. I did start a Let's Play of this game in the past, and that was with my buddy. But that kind of fell through a little bit. So I'm gonna do a Let's Play of this game by myself because I love this game. And it'll become obvious. I mean, you can see how much I love this game. I've played it almost 350 hours. And this game was released, what, October last year or September? August? Somewhere around that time. But anyway, this game is amazing. And I'm going to just go ahead and dive right in here. This will be my first segment of this Let's Play. It'll be single player, normal mode, Dragon's Crown. So this is going to have a lot of talking. Sadly, there's a lot to explain in the beginning of the game. But as soon as I get over that, then we'll be good to go. So I'm going to create a new character here. But first, before I do that, I gotta switch some options. Let's see here. A lot of people like moving around with the stick. I am personally not a fan of that, so I use the pad. It's easier to dash. Let's see what else is there. There we go. Transparency. I like transparency. Damage display. Why would you turn off damage display? Okay, the reason why they turn off damage display to begin with is because in this game it can get really crazy when you have up to 4 people playing at the same time. You got tons of enemies on screen, tons of characters on screen, and it's crazy. You see numbers everywhere, people flying all over the place. It's ridiculous. It's quite the party. So that's why they turn it to off by default, I guess. I'm gonna do this by myself, so I don't want any NPCs to ruin my day. And I think otherwise I'm good to go. So I'm gonna make a new character. Now here's the way this is gonna work. I'm gonna start with Elf, and I'm gonna work my way up. Now here's how my Let's Play is gonna go. I'm going through normal mode. That will be 9 stages in the first half. And then 9 stages in the second half, plus the final boss. There's a hard mode, there's an infernal mode after hard mode, and then there's an, ultimate mode? I don't remember what they call it, but I'm pretty sure it's ultimate. And I'm not going to go that far, because a lot of the story is in the normal mode.
Let's do
this mode. So I'm gonna go from character to character to show you which order of characters I'm going to use. So here's Elf. This is the most popular character, and I'm not entirely sure why, but she's got a lot of options. She's the only ranged, non-magical character. She uses a bow and arrows, I guess, and she is particularly powerful when she powers up her arrows. She's got a few other options. She can use daggers. What else? She can use her boots to kick people and do more damage. She's got a lot of stuff she can do. She can use magic as well. So she's a jack of all trades. And I'm gonna start with Elf at first, and then play a few stages with her just to show the beginning of the game, because I'm pretty bad with Elf. That's why I choose Elf first. Then I'm gonna move on to Wizard.
Let's go.
It's time.
Now Wizard is a mage, which means he has to keep track of his magic. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a bad thing if you're caught with 0 MP and you gotta get out of there, because he relies on magic points, or MP, basically. He's got a meter, and he's got to keep it charged up. Every time he uses magic, or he tries to dodge, he uses up magic. But he is pretty powerful. He does a ton of damage with his spells. He's all offense, and he just, if you want to wreck stuff, Wizard is a pretty good choice. So Wizard will be my next character. He'll be the character after Elf. Then I'm going to go to Amazon.
One more drink.
Okay. My turn.
Alright, so Amazon is one of the most broken characters in this game. And she's the offensive powerhouse for fighting. Whereas the Wizard is the character that is is the magical powerhouse. Amazon is the physical powerhouse. Once she gets going, there is very little that can stop her. The problem is if you get hit, well, it stops a lot of her power. So you gotta be careful, but fast and brutal as Amazon. She's a lot of fun for just hack and slash, just attack all the time as Amazon. So she's definitely, if you want to just slash, hack, chop your way through the game, well, the Amazon is the perfect choice for that. So Amazon will be my third character. Then I'm going to move on to Sorceress.
All right.
Here's Sorceress. Now, this game has come under quite a bit of scrutiny by many people, not just people who play video games, but I think it's pretty obvious just from this picture here why this game has come under scrutiny, and most of the reasons why is because of Sorceress. Just look at her chest, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, so let's talk about Sorceress as a character. So she is really physically weak. If you look at her the wrong way, she dies. Like seriously. But what she lacks in physical power and strength, she makes up for in her magic and supportive spells. Now, you can see that she's not necessarily a magical powerhouse, but she's got really good magic resistance. She has a lot of support magic. That's important. She can inflict, I think, every negative status to all enemies in the game except for poison. And she can use a lot of similar wizard normal abilities. So they share a lot in common. They're both mages, they both have a magic meter, they both have spells. The Sorceress, though, has support magic. She's just not very powerful. So Sorceress will be my fourth character. Then we're going to move on to Dwarf. He's a very happy guy. And Dwarf is particularly strong, as you can tell. His rankings, his stats are, well, strength. He's got a lot of defense. His magic resistance is a bit low, though. Now, the fun thing about Dwarf is you can throw enemies, and that is a lot of fun. It gives Dwarf a lot of crowd control. Dwarf is also very well known for being the implacable character. He refuses to move. If he gets hit, he hardly ever flinches. He has a good damage reduction spell. It's free. All he has to do is charge up every now and then, and he'll take up to 50% reduced damage. That's it. And so he hardly dies. He hardly gets sent flying. He's a nice powerhouse. The only problem with Dwarf is his aerials are pretty bad. But anyway, so Dwarf will be my fifth character. And then last but not least,
Get ready. All right.
Let's do this.
is Fighter. Now this guy is easy mode. If you've been paying attention to the rankings, like Sorceress for example, you can see that she's recommended for expert players. Well, this guy is recommended for everybody, because he can do everything. He is, to put it simply, Fighter is very good at being effective, but very simple. He's very simple to use. He's not complex. His mechanics are very straightforward, but he's very effective with a team, and even by himself. Now this guy has very quick attacks, high power, high constitution, pretty good magic resistance. Look at his stats. He's great. He's everything physical, basically, and he's got a lot of defenses as well. He can also take a lot of hits for the team. He can do a variety of other things. He's got a shield he can use to defend and stun enemies with as a counterattack. He can deflect missiles. He's pretty crazy. So Fighter is obviously the character I saved for last because he's the character I'm most profound with, and also because he's a lot of fun and he's very, very good. So anyway, we're gonna get started here.
Get ready.
It's time for Elf. So I will start with Elf. So you start with the name, you can change the name, you can change the color of your elf. Got a few options here. But I'm going to stick to the default. And I'll leave her voice as English. Now you can have specific greeting messages. I won't really go into detail about this, but if you're playing with multiplayer, these will come into play. You'll see characters that drop in that have specific messages. Or when they die, when you see bones of dead allies, you'll see messages. And that's what these are for. So, but we won't get into that. So I'm going to name my elf something simple, straightforward, elfish. So I'll go with Alina. And so we're going to go ahead and create this character. And now I'm going to start the game as a level 1 elf.
I'm all ready.
I'm all ready.
You seated yourselves and called for a stein of the finest mead. Your partner, Rani, is in a particularly good mood.
So you're going to get used to seeing this guy quite often.
Quaffing the bar's spirits buoyed your spirits. When things are lively, Rani will recount a certain tale. You were an adventurer, just starting out, and didn't know right from left. It was then that you first met.
So here's the tutorial. So this is the elf tutorial. Every character, when you create them in level 1, they have tutorials. And I'm going to show every single character's tutorial as I create them, and then I'll fast forward to where they're supposed to be. So for example, with Elf, I'm going to get through, I think, 3 stages. And then, so Elf will be level, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to have Wizard take over. So when I start Wizard, I'm going to show Wizard's tutorial. And then I'm going to jump to him being the same level or a little bit higher than Elf, where he would take over for Elf. Now, important to note is that I'm going to make it look like I'm passing the baton between characters. But that's not true. Every character has its own separate levels, its own separate... Basically, if you create a new character, they're level 1, and they have to go from the beginning. So you can't just create one account and then have like Elf reach level 8, and then create a Wizard and he's level 8, and then have Wizard get to level 12, and then create a Fighter and he's level 12. It doesn't work like that. But I'm going to make it look like that's the case. So I just want to make sure that's clear. So this is a 2D game in 3D, which is a little weird. So you can jump twice. You can also fall to the ground really fast. If you jump and hold down, maybe you can't access it yet, but you can fall to the ground particularly fast. I'll probably show that off a few times. You can also dash. You can dash by double tapping forward, or you can hold down square, and that leaves an attack at the end. Like that. So 2 different ways to dash. You also evade, that's R1. You're going to be seeing me doing that quite a bit. So we get into Elf's attacks.
An ambush.
These are non-bow attacks. So she has a regular combo here. It's pretty good. It's a little awkward to use, but she's got other abilities too. So strike up, that's one I'm going to be using quite a bit. All characters can slide. So now we'll show off Elf's attacks in the air. So in the air you can just press square. She falls like that. And I killed an enemy. Well, that's okay. The smackdown you're going to see me use a lot. That's a very fast, powerful attack. So now every character's special attacks, they're the circle. So Elf's is using her bow and arrows. So you can just shoot an arrow regularly. Knock that poor goblin on its head. You can also charge a shot too. This goes through enemies. This is going to be using a lot. So you notice above my head, I have a limited amount of ammunition.
What?
So they're telling you about little like bonus weapons you can use. So crossbows is an example. There are other weapons too. Daggers, different types of crossbows, flame spitters. So it just depends on what it is. But here they're going to teach you about crossbows first. So I'm going to take it from this guy by killing him brutally. I'm going to pick up the crossbow.
Be careful!
Now I'm going to kill these goblins. There we go. So you can also use items. I started with a bow, a mantle, and a heal potion. So you can use items by using the stick, or if you move with the stick, you can use them with the pad. So there will be a cooldown depending on the item you use, and you'll see it ticking down on the screen. Like if you right when I hit X, you'll notice that little red shield icon above Elf. It's going to start ticking down. Now I can use items again. So that's how that works. So here's where food comes into play. Now if you've played Odin's Sphere, which is I guess the predecessor to this game, you're all familiar with food. George Kamatani, he loves food. So food is all over this game. So here's an apple. Now it explains here, when you eat food, when you get food, you automatically eat it if you stop moving. So if you're standing still, you'll start eating food. You take 2 bites per piece of food, and it'll count as eating the food. You'll notice in the upper left corner, I have an apple symbol with 1. That means I have 1 piece of food. You can hold up to 5 at a time, and it'll change to max when you have that. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this food. And also notice that eating food will overheal you. So you can have up to 150% of your health, your max health, by eating food. So I have 300, so the maximum amount of health I can have now is 450. So as soon as I stop moving, Elf eats the food. That's how that works.
Shall I
Here's
open
a door.
that door for you? The rogue Ranny inquired, after appearing from out of nowhere.
So remember, this is a flashback.
He thought that it would be a simple matter to take advantage of your naivete and pocket some coin.
So using the other stick on the controller, you can move this cursor around. So in order to open the door, you press L1 to interact with anything. As you can see. So you can see Randy's a level 1 humanoid. But I'm gonna have him open the door.
I got it. Oh yeah.
Alright, well, there's a treasure chest. You can guess where this is going. So Randy is in this adventure for the treasure. Typical thief. He even has a typical thief bag. But anyway, so you can have Randy open the chest as well, using the same
my
mechanism.
Done.
Alright, so he opened the chest.
An ambush!
Alright, now I gotta defeat this. This is the quote-unquote boss. Gotta defeat the orc to pass through. And that's not gonna be too hard. Elf also has another ability. You run backwards, press circle, and she'll shoot an arrow backwards. Like that. You can also crouch and fire. So they don't tell you these things. You can also do one from above as well. So I killed the orc quite brutally. But Elf's got a lot to her. So that was the tutorial for Elf. That's basically how the game is played.
Since that point, you've been journeying under mutually beneficial terms. You handle combat, and Ranny handles locks.
So that's basically the little story between the two. So now we're ready to go on our adventure. So we're in the Dragon's Haven Inn. You can also move around and click on different things in here. So like the bartender guy doesn't have anything. Guy strumming in the background, nothing. The dog though. So sometimes you can interact with stuff in the background and it'll tell you information. Apparently they like to drink wine here. But anyway, so we're gonna leave the tavern. And we're gonna start our adventure. Made by Vanillaware.
You came to Highland as an adventurer. Like many of your fellows, you strove to challenge the dangerous labyrinths here. The labyrinths were every bit as perilous as you'd heard. Most were lucky to even have their bones exit the ruins.
Ooh.
You don't currently belong to the guild. I recommend registering. You can get jobs there and learn skills.
So we're gonna go to the guild. The Adventurers Guild. You can also see there are village people around here. This is quite the buxom maiden, carrying water on her head and a basket of bread, I think? No, whatever. Anyway, we're gonna go to the Adventurers Guild. So this is an important place.
Clad in full armor, the guildmaster, Samuel Joseph, stands in the center of the guild hall like a statue. He appraises you with a look and dismissively states that only worthless adventurers leave their equipment in disrepair.
Ooh, the gauntlet has been thrown. And he's got 2 gauntlets to throw.
Your travels thus far have left your equipment positively thrashed. You resolve to rectify that before returning.
I love the choice of words for this.
The guildmaster directs you to Morgan's magic item shop. The magician is even able to repair magical equipment.
Yes, we're gonna go to visit Morgan. This is the witch Morgan Lisley. She's, shall I say, quite imposing.
To be deemed worthy by the Adventurers Guild, you must first repair your broken equipment.
I don't know if we can go to the menu. Nope, not yet. So we're gonna go into Morgan's.
You conquer a labyrinthine set of stairs, and Morgan Lisley, shopkeeper and witch, welcomes you to her establishment. There is no objects repair which does not fall under her purview, from ornate magic staves to rusted axes.
Yeah, so she can repair anything. She's also quite well dressed.
Welcome to my shop.
So we're gonna repair our
What
bow,
would you like?
because apparently the bow can't take very much. It's just a tutorial on how to repair stuff. They actually used to have it so that you couldn't fix all. If you notice in the upper right corner, there's a fix all option. That used to not exist for individual bags. I'll get into bags much later, but they've patched the game quite a bit. Atlas is amazing, and Atlas and Vanillaware just together, they've made some really cool stuff. But anyway, we gotta repair the bow. So, ta-da! The bow is now repaired. Now everything in this game has durability in one way or another, and I'll explain it as we go.
Adventurers come here not only for repairs, but for appraisals, and to purchase magic items. You will visit Morgan often.
I'm sure adventurers come here for another reason, but anyway, let's get going. So yeah, Morgan's quite the woman. Oh, and I can activate the start menu, that's good.
Your equipment is now unmarred. You should return to the guild and see if the guildmaster deems you worthy.
So we shall go to the Adventurers Guild.
Once again, the guildmaster Samuel Joseph stands in the center of the guild hall, like a statue.
He's got a really tiny head. Either that or he's got really, really big armor.
With your equipment now in tip-top condition, you request to join the guild. Samuel issues you a test of skill. What will you do?
This is funny. And if you state you're overqualified, he kicks you out. You have to be humble. So the correct answer is A. So to save time,
Your test is to help a warrior named Roland. Samuel says that you can find him in the ancient temple ruins.
so that's the first stage if you couldn't guess. Great, now I can look at the town map. And I can also go to the gate.
To prove your mettle for the guildmaster, you head to the ancient temple ruins to assist the warrior, Roland.
Alright, good stuff. So let's open up the menu. Press start. So here you can check your skills, you can check your stats, your requests, which we'll get to the next segment. Check your equipment and also check the armory. Now the armory is a shared, basically a shared bag of holding. It's shared inventory for all characters on this save file. It can hold up to 500 total items, not counting equipment that's currently equipped. So if you equip a bunch of stuff, it doesn't count towards the 500. So we can look at the stats. So here's Elf's stats, level 1. Pretty accurate based on the letters that she was given for the stats when you first created her. She's not very durable yet. She's not really durable, period, but anyway. So looking at the armory, it's pretty empty. Yeah. So note that all gold is also shared by all characters that are on the save file. In the guild, basically. Or in the inn. So you can have up to 16 characters, I think. So let's go back to equipment. So we don't have any equipment to change out. But I'm just going to show off what it looks like. We'll get to equipment later. Alright. I also have access to this little town map. I'm going to use this all the time. You don't have to run back and forth between places. You can just choose where to go. Alright, so we're going to go to the gate.
A magic gate was recently found in the ruins on the outskirts of town. Use that to reach your destination.
So here's the gate right here. It's pretty imposing. As you try to walk into it, it starts glowing. Ooh, must be magic. So we're gonna walk inside like all adventurers would. So here we are. This is a map of Hideland. That's the name of this area. Alright, so we're gonna go to the ancient temple ruins. It's the first stage. It's pretty easy.
Many
Alright,
things
so here we are in the dungeon.
ruins of the old Elysian temple. Some quiescent, some far less so. An ancient dragon, spoken of in myths, is said to have destroyed the Elysian civilization in one night.
So they always give the narrator gives a little background information. So here are where enemies can actually hurt you. So I'm gonna make quick work of these guys while I can. This guy's still alive. Oh, not for long. So notice that when enemies die, they drop stuff. So these goblins drop coins. So as you pick up, basically everything you pick up adds to your score. You can see it zooming to the top of the screen right there in that red little line. So everything that adds up to the score gets converted to experience points after you're done with the dungeon. What's this? Fairy cage.
You liberated a fairy that was trapped in a cage.
Yep, so that fairy will become familiar later on. So let's get some treasure. We're gonna explain treasure here.
Voila!
So I got a treasure rank D. Obviously the higher rank the treasure is, the better it usually is, but usually treasure that's better has lower durability. So there are trade-offs, and we'll get into more detail as we get more equipment. Got some more goblins to kill. So you notice the attacks I'm spamming quite a bit. Alright, well, took care of those goblins. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, not for long. So I will note that I am trying to salvage the PlayStation 3's anti-encoding or anti-recording features. This is actually a 30 FPS video, and I'm doing my best to try to make it 60. And try to remove the interlacing.
Way to Roland. At the guild's behest, he is looking for adventurers who went missing in the ruins.
That is a big dude. This guy needed help? Well, okay then.
For you to pass your guild exam, you must help him. Roland tells you to search in the ruins that are submerged in water. Much time has passed since the missing were last seen. He tells you to bring back their bones if they are found dead.
That's lovely.
An ambush!
So anyway, as I was saying, this video... Gotta kill a snake before it wraps me up. So as I was saying, because of the PlayStation 3's anti-recording, the video is pretty terrible. Even though it would be 60 FPS, you can't record with HDMI. Also, you gotta be careful of these statues and stuff. They will hurt you if you fall on you. So I'm trying to make this look as good as possible. So forgive me if the video quality is kind of bad. But I'm just trying to make it smooth so that it doesn't look all bloody and distorted and bad. So anyway, we're gonna go up here. You're not supposed to know you can go up here yet, but this is the first quest. I'll go up here anyway.
The Orc army is apparently getting here via the waterway. Their cargo is various articles from ships that have been reported missing.
Alright, there we go. Well, I killed them without taking damage, that's good.
Done.
Open that treasure, Rennie.
Voila! Oh, I can do that.
So Randy will pick up stuff for you if you leave it for too long. He's a good guy. He also sounds particularly fabulous. Oh yeah. You'll hear that quite a bit. So we keep going through the ruins. Oh, there's a little gecko guy. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, so I love this game. The art style is great. It's all hand-drawn 2D art.
They're here!
Yes.
Well, now they're there.
Oh yeah.
So this is the beginning of the game. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to use the dagger. You can also throw it. It goes all the way to the other side of the screen. But sadly that uses up a use. So every time you hit an enemy with a weapon, or in the case of crossbows, every time you fire them, the uses go down by 1. So I'm going to use this dagger, just to show it off a little bit. Now there are floor traps here. Just like Gauntlet. You gotta be careful not to step in floor traps. Because they are everywhere. You notice every now and then I'll move my little cursor around to try to pick up hidden stuff. That's pretty common. So I can kill those bats pretty easily, which is good. Bats are annoying. They're called vampire bats. Is that alive? Okay, it's dead. But they don't actually, like, drain your health. They just hit you a bunch. They're annoying, but whatever. Ooh. Every now and then you'll find a spot that has a bunch of hidden stuff. That's very satisfying to get. Alright, well here are the bones that Roland asked us to find.
You have found the bones of a missing adventurer. Sometimes, the dead have been known to leave behind a message right before they perish.
So if you get close to a bones, you'll see a message. Sometimes they're kind of funny. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're funny. If you go online, you can find players' bones as well. So any custom messages you write for your player, if they die, other people can find their bones, and they can see your message. So we are going to collect this. Now there's another secret area in this room. It's right here. It's pretty conspicuous, right? There's a tear across here. So you can touch it.
As you investigate the wall painting, you detect that the area behind the wall has been hollowed out.
Ooh. So what do we do? Break it. Alright, we broke it. Good stuff. Now these gold treasure chests, these have the most valuable treasure.
I got it. Done. Oh my.
Oh my.
An
But there's an ambush. Well, not much of an ambush if you ask me.
Oh, I can do that. Filthy lucre.
But usually those skeletons are very hard. Now, here's the thing. Elf has a lot of dex. That was one of her high stats. Dex makes firing these sub-weapons more powerful. So she should be using the crossbows, the daggers, and other things. Hey, there's another pair of bones. Interesting. Should have eaten that food. Yeah. So get an extra set of bones. I don't know why, but we're supposed to only get one pair. I love the scenery. This game is a definition of scenery porn.
They're here.
Ooh, a lizard. Oh, so much for that lizard. Oh, he can guard too. Oh, he can only guard so much. Elf is very nimble, so she can do a lot of that stuff. Now we're approaching the first boss. This is a harpy. It's not too it's actually pretty difficult. I take it back. It is pretty hard. So if you're not ready for a boss like this, you can probably die. But I'll try to avoid taking damage. Alright, here's the harpy. Took 0 damage because I evaded. So far I'm doing okay. You notice my arrows are going down pretty fast. Well, now I'm out of arrows. If you attack an enemy, a boss, sometimes it'll drop arrows like that. I'm doing pretty well. Now I'm out of arrows again. Oh, she dropped some. It's good news for me. Uh-oh. There we go. Dodged it. I'm doing a pretty good job. That's right, knocked me on the ground. Whew, that was close. Alright, excellent. So yeah, that's the first boss. It can...
nests similar to this one spread throughout the area. You exit the area, taking care to avoid drawing the attention of any other harpies.
So that was pretty good. I actually took no damage throughout the whole stage. If you evade using R1, you have a very high chance of not taking any damage, even if you normally would get hit. So, as I was saying, if you take no damage from a boss, you get extra points, and I'll show you what that means. So here's the treasure we got throughout the stage. We got, what, 8 pieces of treasure? That's pretty good. You earn money when you open up treasure chests as well, so it's worth it to open up chests. And if you complete the stage quickly, you get a higher time bonus. So the total score will be converted to experience, and that's a pretty healthy amount of money we got. So that's good stuff. Alright, now the results screen. I'm gonna level up, I think, twice. Quite a bit. So here's where your experience is calculated. So for normal mode, it takes a score plus a bonus score. Now let's take a look at the bonus score. Here's the bonus score. You notice I received a lot of points for not taking damage from the boss. Beating the round unharmed. Now, I didn't take damage the whole way. So that's a significant thing. So you get quite a bit of points there. I also got... So beating the round unbowed means you didn't die. And LP bonus is life points. So the number of times... Do you notice I had a 2 next to my character in the upper left corner when I was fighting? That's representative of the number of lives I have left. So you get an LP bonus for each life point you have left. So everything else should be pretty obvious, I think. But anyway, so it takes the score and the bonus score, and then it multiplies it by 0.1. For normal, it's 10%. Now for hard mode, it's 50%. For infernal, it's 200%. For ultimate, I don't remember what it is. I think it's maybe 1,000, but I can't remember. Anyway, so you get pretty shanked on normal mode, so you don't get a lot of experience. So here's the spoils. Now this is important. So I'm gonna explain it myself. It can be a little confusing. Let's take a look at the spoils here. Anything that's grayed out means you can't use it yet because you're not that level. So I'm level 3. So these are all level 4 bows if you look on the right side. You can sort them by category, by equipment level, by rank. This is a pretty good bow. I'm probably going to get this one. So you can appraise them, and it costs money. Now you got to be careful though. You only have so much money. So this is actually a pretty good bow. I didn't expect anything to have 3 effects. So let's see what this is. Wow, that is very good. Well then, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. So you press square to obtain it after you appraise it. Otherwise, if you appraise it, if you obtain it without appraising it, it goes in your armory, but it's unappraised. So it makes sense to do all your appraising here on the screen. So there's some other bows here as well. We're not gonna bother yet. Level 1 mantle. We already have a level 1 mantle, so we got a lot of weapons this time around. I'm gonna actually... So you can sell them individually, or you can go back here. You can sell all and quit. So I'm gonna use triangle here. It'll sell the rest of these on the screen. So make sure you obtain everything you want, and then you can sell the rest. Get the money for them, and then you can just leave. That's basically how it works. So that's how Dragon's Crown is pretty much based around. Yay, we got equipment. Da-na-na-na.
You have fulfilled the request. Report your work to the Guildmaster.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to equip that new equipment. So I'm not going to use this short bow anymore. It's pretty bad. But I am going to use this bow. This bow is better. Alright, good stuff. Here's the Adventurers Guild. So we did find the bones. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to report it next time. Yeah, I think this segment's taken up quite a bit. Let's go to Morgan's, though. Let's see what's in Morgan's.
Welcome to my shop.
So you can repair equipment,
What would you like?
but I don't have any equipped. I don't have any equipment that I have equipped that needs repair, so I don't need this. Here's where you can appraise stuff. If you didn't appraise it, but you still collected it. You can sell items you have.
What would you like?
So I can sell my old short bow. I don't really care about it, so I might as well sell it. Starting equipment sells for like nothing, but it takes up inventory space, so it's better to sell them.
Which one do you want?
Alright, so now I gotta explain how this works. This is confusing. So, let's get rid of this. Alright, now let's take this defense tonic as an example. This thing reduces damage taken for 30 seconds when you use it. You can use it 4 times per dungeon. It's got 14 restock amount. So how the way this works is, every time you go to a dungeon, you can use it up to 4 times. And then however many times you used it will be replenished from the restock amount. So let's say you used it 4 times in a dungeon. It'll then have 4 more uses per dungeon next time. and only 10 restock amount as well, because it takes 4 from the restock to fill in the 4 uses per dungeon for next dungeon, if that makes sense. Heal potion here, you can use up to 6 times per dungeon, and then it restocks however many times you've used it. It'll take from the restock amount and replenish the uses per dungeon with that. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, I don't particularly need any of these items yet. Some of these have particularly high restock amounts, some of them have high uses per dungeon. So this is a trade-off, right? You can use this 8 times, but you can only restock 18. This one you can use 6 times, but you can restock more. So that's basically how the items work. Alright, bye Morgan. Oh, I will show something else that's funny with Morgan. You can interact.
May I help you?
You can interact with NPCs, so you can click her. So she's a genius. The staff looks pretty nice. Yeah, so she can use this staff to repair anything, which is crazy. Let's see here, what else? Anything else I can click on? Well, there is one thing I can click on. Well, yes, you can click on her breasts, that's right. But it does say, watch your hands, otherwise she'll petrify them. I found that pretty funny. But she's, it's kind of hard to avoid these. They're kind of out there. But anyway, so that's a little funny Easter egg you can do with some characters. Alright, well, we're done for this segment. You can also attack NPCs. They are very, very good at dodging you, though. Yeah. If you attack NPCs in the village too many times, you get thrown in jail, which is funny. I might show it later, who knows. You can also attack Ranny. He deserves it.
It hurts. Oh.
But yeah. So we're going to go back and save. So that's basically how Dragon's Crown works. Hopefully I didn't bore everyone too much, but there's a lot to explain initially. So I'm going to go ahead and save here. That was pretty good. So that is how Dragon's Crown works. So if you're into RPG beat 'em ups like Gauntlet, Golden Axe, there's a bunch of other games that are like this. But if you like the old arcade ones like The Simpsons or Turtles in Time, this is pretty similar, but it's got RPG elements to it and it's got more mechanics. So I mean, this is a really great, expansive game, and I totally recommend it. Now, I'm playing the PlayStation 3 version. There's also a PlayStation Vita version, and that one I think is $10 cheaper, and Atlus made a patch that enables the game to be played across between the Vita and the PS3. So you can have characters from PS3 and the Vita playing together, which is ridiculous. That's really awesome. I'm really glad they did that. Atlus is just an amazing company. So this game has a lot of promise. It's very expansive. It's got a lot to it. If you don't like grinding, you may want to avoid it, but it's still a really fun game. I totally recommend playing with your friends, and if you want to see more, well, you know what I'm going to say. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for next time.